go ahead and bring in Republican Tennessee Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Tim Burchett. Congressman, I want to start with some breaking news that we've got here into our newsroom just moments ago. Israeli officials, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accepted the ceasefire proposal put forth by President Biden. Again, we learned that within the last hour. While I've got you here, your reaction to that?
Well, I'm not surprised. He's under incredible political pressure back home. Netanyahu is. What I'm concerned about, of course, is the hostages. They should be released. That was the agreement. I believe that is part of this agreement, that if there will be a ceasefire if the hostages are released. And I honestly don't see how that can even happen, because I think some of them are dead. I don't think they know where some of the kids are. They've been traded around a lot. And the ones who are alive, they're not really sure where some of them are. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds.
We also learned yesterday that Netanyahu reportedly accepted an agreement, or an invitation, I should say, to speak with U.S. Congress. When that conversation happens, what are you hoping to hear from him?
Well, I've supported his efforts. They were attacked, and Israelis were brutally murdered, raped, and it was medieval, some of the things they did, little children shot. It's just incredible. So I hope that we continue to support him in his efforts, and I hope that there is no way, shape, form, or fashion that this president allows American troops on the ground over there, because I think that would hinder Netanyahu and get our folks killed under our very weak rules of engagement, as we saw in Afghanistan, and that complete failure when we pulled out of there.
A lot to watch there as well. I do want to get your take on another story, of course, that we're following here. Hunter Biden, his gun case trial set to start with jury selection tomorrow. This marks the first, of course, criminal trial of a sitting president's son. So far, though, Hunter Biden at this point has pleaded not guilty to 3 federal gun-related charges, including 2 counts of failing to disclose drug use when seeking to buy a weapon. What are you expecting from the trial this week, again, starting with jury selection tomorrow?
Well, I'd like to see justice. This administration and his family have had rules for thee and not for me. You know, it's it's a two-sided thing of justice, and it's not supposed to be that way. You know, we've uncovered over $20 million that's flowed into this family. We've not seen any record of any taxes being paid, and just blunder after blunder, and our Justice Department refuses to investigate anything. So I would think the American public deserve at least a little justice here. I doubt we'll get it, but if the president was smart, he would let Hunter go take a little bit of a rap and face a couple of days in jail, so that he could say that, well, it works for my family as well as it does for Trump's family. But I'd be surprised if that happened.
Congressman, though, on the flip side, former President Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 felony counts for falsifying business records this week. You've previously said that you see some clear errors in this. Expand on that.
Yes, ma'am. Well, the judge's own daughter profited. She raised, I think, over $78 million for Democrat candidates. It was a misdemeanor that they ramped up to a felony. They changed the date that it could be tried on. The statute of limitations had in fact passed, and there's just a lot of errors in this thing. And you have Alvin Bragg and Letitia James both ran on getting Trump, and they didn't allow the president's own federal law election expert to testify. So I think there's a lot of problems. Those are just the tips of the iceberg. I'm not an attorney, and those are things that I spotted. So I suspect there'll be a lot more. I don't think he'll get any justice in New York. I think he'll have to take it to in fact, if it can get that way, to our Supreme Court.
Do you think it'll wound him at all politically?
No, ma'am. I'd say if they put him in handcuffs, his numbers would go up. People are tired of this stuff. They think it's ridiculous. And everywhere I've been in East Tennessee this past weekend, and I've been all over. When I go home, I work more than I do in D.C., and that is all anybody wants to talk about. And some of these people are non-political. I knocked on doors yesterday, and they started talking about Trump, I knew I'd be there for 15 or 20 minutes, because people are really mad about it. And these are educated people. So I would think that's clearly the way it is across the country, and you're going to see it with minorities especially. They've been mistreated by this system for centuries, for decades, if not centuries.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.